These two cities are so close together, about 20 to 30 minutes from each other. However, the housing inventory, the lifestyle, and the commuting are totally different from each other.
Both cities sit on the shores of Lake Michigan. They're both between Chicago and Milwaukee, but very different lifestyles from one another. Let's talk about them today. Richie and Aalia Scott, your Kenosha area realtors here. If you need any help buying, selling, relocating, or investing here in the Kenosha area, make sure that you give us a call or a text at 262-331-1621 or visit our website at chadscottrealty.com.
We help buyers in both counties, so we're not just strictly in Kenosha.
Let's dive into it.
Picture this, Kenosha. Totally a suburban feel to it. You have the downtown area. However, you do have the outlying cities like Pleasant Prairie, the county of Salem or Bristol. They provide a totally suburban feel. They also are very heavier influence from Illinois relocators because we are literally right over the border. So it provides really the convenience of commuting if they are still working in Illinois.
We have a ton of those Illinois shoppers too that come over the border to get those cheaper Wisconsin sales taxes. We have a ton of Illinois people that come over the border to shop at Woodman's especially. We all love Woodman's. They come right over the border and shop at Woodman's.
So as I mentioned, it is actually a very good location for the Illinois relocators, even though we do have some strong feelings about them. Because of the strong I-94 access, the Kenosha area provides a lot more positive and aka pros for those people to come over. And shopping. Who doesn't like shopping?
Aalia sure does. Let's talk about the housing stock here in Kenosha County area. So you'll see a lot more post-World War II housing here in the Kenosha area. Houses were typically built in the late 1930s, 1940s, and 1950s. That's typically when people here in the Kenosha area settled in our area. You'll find some houses that were obviously built before then in the 1920s, late 1800s. But a lot of our area was built heavily during the 1950s, I would say. A lot of our area was built up. A lot of our houses were built in the 1950s, 1970s. It's kind of the big boom of the Kenosha when a lot of our houses were built.
So let's talk about Racine. So we are traveling about 20 to 30 minutes north of Kenosha. You are going to see a lot more urban areas, more historical layouts of the home structures as well. Racine not only provides a closer transportation or commute is a better word, to Milwaukee area because it is closer north than Kenosha. Whereas Kenosha is more towards the Illinois, you're going to look at people transferring from Kenosha to Racine because of the closer feel for the Milwaukee area if they are working in Milwaukee. The street grids are actually pretty old as well. So do you want to talk more about that, Chad?
Racine still has kind of the same street grid as Kenosha. It's laid out in the grid system like Kenosha. However, Racine goes by street names instead of numbers like Kenosha does. I personally find that a little more confusing than Kenosha. I like the street numbers. I find it a lot easier to navigate than the street names. Apparently, Aalia likes the names better. I'm more of a numbers person than names person. I can memorize numbers a lot easier than names. So I find that more confusing. And Racine also has a lot more streets that kind of curve and intertwine around the city. They're not straight like Kenosha. Kenosha has a lot more straight, even streets.
Perpendicular. If you want to be big and smart.
There you go. Than Racine. So as you're driving through Racine, you'll find a lot more streets that kind of curve and wind throughout the city. Whereas Kenosha, they go a lot more north, south, east, and west. They don't curve through the city quite as much.
So Kenosha in itself actually grew in the second half of the 20th century. whereas Racine, little history buff here, was the prominent county when the settlers came and established Racine and Kenosha. Kenosha was part of Racine until 1850. Kenosha broke off into their different county. So you
Didn't know that. That's interesting.
Exactly. So Racine actually, their growth actually peaked before the 20th century, and resulting obviously with more historical homes than you'll see in Kenosha.
So if you're a history buff and you love those historical homes, you'll find a lot more historical homes in the Racine area than you will in the Kenosha area. We do have historical homes here in the Kenosha area, but there are a lot more in the Racine area. And we do see that when we're showing homes in the Racine area. There are a lot more historical homes in the Racine area.
So when we say historical homes, they just need a lot more tender loving care.
Yep.
So just keep in mind that.
So Aalia, let's talk about costs. Costs are really important to everybody. We all have to stay within our budget. Let's talk about what it costs to live here in the Kenosha area.
So the Kenosha area median home value, it runs a little higher than Racine. It kind of runs about like minimum of $275,000 as of this filming. Property taxes can vary by neighborhood to neighborhood, but generally it's actually moderate for southeast Wisconsin. And also we have newer homes than Racine, so it requires less short-term maintenance.
In Racine, you have a lower entry price for homes. Their homes are starting around that $220,000 entry price as of filming right now today. But you have older homes, which usually means a little higher maintenance costs. Just remember, you always have that. You have insurance costs to factor into your housing costs too. So you have to pay for homeowners insurance. You have to factor in updates for your house, like roof, electrical, plumbing, especially if you buy an older home.
However, these homes that will require a longer and heavier maintenance can also be found in Kenosha, but is actually fewer than Racine that you're going to see in Racine as well. So older homes, as we been mentioning, typically cost more because just to maintain regardless of the purchase price. You can find a home that's $300,000, but the home in itself, the maintenance needed to be maintained can be higher still. So
just remember that cheaper purchase price doesn't always mean cheaper ownership price.
Let's talk about housing styles and the neighborhood feels in Kenosha. How are the Kenosha housing? How are the housing in Kenosha?
So in Kenosha, you'll find a lot more ranches, split levels, and colonials. Since Kenosha has a lot more newer neighborhoods, you tend to find a lot of two-story houses as well, especially like the White Caps neighborhoods, because in the 1990s, people liked a lot of the two-story houses. So you tend to find a lot of two-story houses in the Kenosha area. Whereas in Racine and the older parts of Kenosha, there are just a ton of ranch houses. And I guess ranch neighborhoods too, because in the 1950s and 70s, people didn't really like two-story houses. They all liked all ranch houses. Kind of like we're going back to today, where people just like ranch houses and the open concept.
And I completely agree. As we get older, I realize I don't want to do stairs anymore.
Yep. In Kenosha, typically you have larger lots, and usually you have driveways. In most houses, not all houses, but most houses in Kenosha have garages as well. And almost, I'm not going to say almost every house, but a lot of houses here in the Kenosha area are post-1950 construction. Of course, you'll find a lot of houses, or quite a few houses that are built pre-1950, but a lot of Kenosha is built 1950 and after. Aalia, how about Racine houses? What are we going to find in Racine?
You are going to mainly see bungalows, two doors, and lots of early 1900s homes, as we mentioned before, because Racine was one of the first big counties. So a lot of them were established before 1900s. You're going to see also smaller lots compared to Kenosha's lots as well. And you're going to see a lot of alley access to some of the areas because of the lack of land access. It is a big architectural character to these houses, which brings in those people who gravitate towards those type of styles.
So just keep in mind that the age of your house really impacts the energy efficiency of your house. The older your house, the more drafty those windows can get, the less insulation that your attic typically has and your walls typically has. So if you buy a really old house that was built in the 1930s or 1950s, you may pay a lot more in energy costs, and it may cost you a lot more to replace all those windows. Windows are not cheap right now, and to add insulation in the attic and your walls, that can cost a lot of money. So like I said earlier, buying a cheaper house may not correlate to cheaper home ownership. A lot of buyers also underestimate the lifestyle impact of smaller lots and how maybe not having a driveway or a garage really impacts their life. We see a lot of buyers sometimes who are like, I really love this house and I can totally live without a garage. And a couple of years down the road, they're giving us a call saying, I really need a garage because these winters are just wreaking havoc on my car and I'm tired of chipping ice away off my windshield every single day in the wintertime. Chad, Aalia, please come help me sell my house and find me another house with a garage. I have to move. Or I really hate this alley access to my house because they take forever to plow this alley in the wintertime. Let's find us another house. Or I hate parking on the street every single day. Let's find me a house with a driveway. So keep that in mind when you're looking for houses, if that stuff is important to you. All right, Aalia, this one's really important to some people. So let's have you take this one. Schools and family. You're our resident school expert here. Let's talk about schools.
So let's talk about schools, and then schools are important for most people, and how the day-to-day experience can be very important over online rankings. A lot of the online rankings are usually reflective off of people who are very upset with that school specifically for personal reasons or other reasons as such. However, it still does impact that school, even though that school may be the best for your students. The commute to the schools, how far are the schools? Are the schools walkable from your house? Kind of plays into the part of deciding where you want to settle as well. Class sizes, as the years are going past, we are going to see a lot of larger class size. Believe me, I am feeling it right now. Can only imagine 5 years from now if the school education system is going the way it is. Are the schools, what kind of extracurricular activities do the schools provide? If you have a student who's into sports, what kind of sports? Are the sports actually ranking high and you want them to do well, kind of thing? So all of those that a lot of the buyers actually focus on and should not really rely on, like the online rankings, can often lag behind the actual changes. So the online ranking could be reflective of what happened 5 years prior to when you are moving. The school district boundaries start moving as well, and that actually matters more than the actual city name. They change often.
A lot.
Buyers frequently choose a neighborhood within the cities for school reasons, for sure. What parents actually ask once they move, and why touring neighborhoods matter more than the reading scores.
So make sure when you're choosing a neighborhood and a house that you're asking the right questions. Don't choose a house solely based on a school. When you're choosing a house in a neighborhood, and if a school is really important to you, go visit the school. Tell them that you're deciding whether or not to move into this school district, and you want to talk to the principal, and you talk to a teacher or two and get a feel for the school. And ask to see an average class size. They'll show you the statistics of the school. The school district will be happy to do that for you.
So Kenosha actually offers awesome location and position for the Illinois relocators because it is closer to the I-94 expressway access to the south. It's shorter border-to-border commute as well. Whereas Milwaukee commuters, what are they preferring?
Milwaukee commuters tend to prefer the Racine area just because it is a lot closer from Racine to Milwaukee than Kenosha is. You're cutting your commute off by 20 to 30 minutes, usually about 25-ish minutes, something like that. And that can really add up day to day, each way. So depending on where you work, if you're commuting to work, if you're driving both ways, that commute time really adds up. You want to spend that extra time with your family instead of in the car driving. So if you're a commuter and you're commuting to and from work, depending on where you're commuting to, the Chicagoland area or the Milwaukee-land area, Racine or Kenosha is maybe the better pick for you. Give Aalia or I a call and we can discuss it with you and help you choose which city is the best for you.
So we've been talking about the commuting aspects for people who actually do go into the office, but we have not talked about the remote hybrid workers who actually don't really care about the access, easy access to the express or the freeway because they now...
Well, they don't go into work. All they care about is having a quiet neighborhood, a nice workspace in their house, like an in-home office. They just want a neighborhood that it doesn't have really loud cars driving up and down the street, a bunch of really loud neighbors knocking on the door every single hour trying to sell them something.
Or having access to the sidewalks, at least one side sidewalks, just to have those walks during lunch, kind of getting and stretching out your legs. So
yeah, sitting in that office chair all day long can really get annoying and cramping in your legs after a little while. So being able to get outside and walk for a little while on those really nice spring, summer days can be really nice. And those nice December days like we've had in the last week or so. So Aalia, let's talk about who Kenosha is best fit for.
So the person or the people that tend to want more space in the garages tend to find their solace in Kenosha versus Racine of smaller lots and lack of garages. We are seeing families who want that suburban feel, and the layouts of suburbia tends to agree with Kenosha more. And of course, Illinois workers because of the proximity to Illinois as well. And also the newer housing fans who prefer the newer houses versus the historic houses.
People who enjoy Racine a little bit better, buyers who value walkability. They like to walk to and from like local stores, maybe a local restaurant. Racine tends to be a little more walkable than Kenosha, just because Kenosha is a little more spread out, unless you're living downtown Kenosha. Historic home lovers, if you love historic homes, Racine just has more historic homes to choose from. Milwaukee workers, if you work in the Milwaukee area, then you probably want to choose the Racine area just because it's a little bit of a closer commute for you. And budget conscious buyers that are comfortable with older homes. So if you're on a budget and you're just looking for a house that's a little bit cheaper, more in your budget, then you want to look at the Racine area because Racine has a cheaper starting price point than Kenosha does.
So there's no city that's better. It's about how it fits your lifestyle and your work.
Most regrets come from choosing the wrong lifestyle, not the wrong house. So some of the common mistakes that we see buyers make all the time when they're buying a house is they choose based on listing price alone. You want to make sure that you choose a house that fits you and your lifestyle, not just based on price.
And trusting apps over local insight means that you're going to trust the online rankings for the schoolings versus actually personally experiencing it.
Ignoring taxes and insurance, you have to add taxes and insurance into your monthly payment because believe it or not, they will still charge you taxes every single year and you still have to pay your insurance every single year, especially if you're financing your house.
And underestimating the maintenance costs to maintain your house.
If you followed our YouTube channel for any length of time, you know that Aalia and I personally have had lots and lots of home maintenance issues. And they sneak up on you every single time. You're not prepared for them. So
when you're least expecting it,
it like sure is annoying.
Thanksgiving break or Thanksgiving when we have to call.
It sure is annoying, let me tell you. So when you're ready to buy your house, whether it's your first house or your next house, make sure that you give Aalia and I a call or a text or schedule an appointment through our website. We sit down with you and we ask you the following questions to make sure that you buy the correct house in the right city and neighborhood so you don't regret it. We ask you lifestyle questions,
Commuting mapping,
neighborhood questions, which neighborhood is the best for you,
and long-term planning, such as kids, jobs, or even trying to resell your house in the future. So choosing the right city is as important as finding that right house. We help buyers compare the two and before they actually commit.
So whether you're looking to buy, sell, relocate, or invest here in the Kenosha Racine area, make sure that you give us a call or shoot us a text at 262-331-1621 or visit our website at chatscottrealty.com. Aalia and I are ready to help you out whenever you're ready to make that move. Have a great day. We'll see you in the next video.